Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Sri Gyan Manjari Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, from today onwards we are going to start with a new poem from First Flight, that is the main book. Name of the poem is Animals, poem number 7. It is written by Walt Whitman. First we are going to learn something about the poet, and then we'll start with the poem. Walt Whitman, born in 1819 and died in 1892. So we are talking about some 200 years from now. He was a major figure in early American poetry. Now we should understand that uh, America, which was a newfound continent, the people from all over Europe, they were always in search of new land and new prospects. So they kept on searching. So these are the very people who went to America and settled over there, made colonies, and extended their uh, search for the whole of the American continent, which we know as North America today. And they settled at various places. So this is that early time in which the settlement process was still going on, and uh, the small towns started developing into small cities. This is exactly that time. So we can understand that Walt Whitman parents migrated to US for better prospect. It was not US at that time. It was just a newfound territory. So this English, the Spaniards, the Portuguese, all of these people, they migrated over there, and these were the white people who migrated to the today known as North American continent and settled over there. There was quite a lot of mixture, but still, the original accent cannot be mixed. But then the people who settled over there, they started getting uh, familiarized with that continent, and their language, English, though started changing because there was lots of mixture over there of different European nations over there. Uh, there was an very good fine amalgamation of all the European people. So language tended to be changed, and now it came to be known as American language, American English, right? So he was considered as a major figure. Major figure, that means taken highly regarded as quite an important position in English literature, right? So in an age when all poetry was rhymed and metrical, that means musical. In those days, if you're talking about England, then they had a proper system how to make a poem, right? So poets usually used to follow that age-old tradition, and they used to make rhymed poetry, metrical. That is, it can be sung also. That type of musical. Uh, it had some musical content in it where we can sing it, we can add some music to it. So that type of poetry was written. And we should also remember that that was a time when lots of revolution or lots of changes were going on in the field of literature with the help of experimentation. So lots of experiments were done. Of course, young blood was kept on adding to the number of poets. So the young blood is always up to something, up to doing something new, doing something extraordinary, and trying to set a new path. So lots of experimentation was going on. It is in this period that Walt Whitman comes. So when everybody was writing rhyming poems or metrical poems, Whitman made a break with the tradition. That means he did not accept that. He wrote in the earlier days, he did write the same poem, but later on he evolved his own theme, he evolved his own way, tradition, and he set out a path for other poets to follow. So what he did is he made a break with the tradition and wrote revolutionary poems, new kind of free verse. It started over there. It should be a free verse. That means uh, it should be a symmetrical poem, right? All the stanzas should have a fixed number of uh, lines. uh, there should be rhyming scheme. So that was the set criteria for writing poems. Now he was a revolutionary kind of person, and he made a change in that. He started writing free verse. Free verse may you are not limited up to stanzas. A whole of the poem can go on extending till 2 3 pages without any break. Yes, the first line goes to the left margin and all that. So you give away with all the set traditions of the poem and you write in a free verse. There it is not necessary to keep the exact number of words or lines in a stanza. First of all, there is no stanza. Wherever you want a break, you can give a break. Next thing is rhyming is not necessary, right? Right, starting always from the left hand side of the margin, that was also done away with. So he made a break with the tradition and wrote revolutionary new kind of poetry which is known as free verse. Now, he was a non-conformist in all respect. A conformist. Conformist, if I write this poem in the same way as other poets write it, then I conform the set tradition. He was a non-conformist. That means you don't know which type of poetry he is going to write, right? In which style. So he was a non-conformist on all, including the social life. We are not going to discuss that. He was a revolutionary person. He always kept on experimenting, and whether that is literature or whether that is society, he was a different sort of person. Now we'll start with the uh, poem. How to tell wild animals. Thing there. So, poem number 7, Animals. Now, before starting the poem, not summary, but how to understand this poem in a better way. This is a comparison. This poem is a comparison and a contrast also. So, this poem is a comparison and contrast between human beings and animals. Because human beings, we know, evolved from animals, and today human beings are the most advanced, most evolved creatures living on this planet. We control all of the planet, animal kingdom, vegetation, everything. It's under our control. Yes, we are the super creatures who evolved quite rapidly, right? Once the process started, it was quite rapid. Yes, when we look back into history, it's quite millions of years. But the period that human beings took after the period started, that is quite short compared to the long history of the earth. So here this poem is a compare and contrast. It's not such a big or quite long poem. It's quite a short poem, right? And basic things that the poet wants to highlight is the comparison between other animals and human beings. Now, the main point of this poem is both of human beings and animals have been living on this earth since time immemorial, right? Since a quite long, consistent time, both of us, we have been living on this earth. We changed, but animals did not change. There are some set values for as far as animals are concerned, that groups are concerned, that different species are concerned, right? Subspecies are concerned. Those things also kept on evolving, on the process of evolution in them also kept on going on according to the change in geography, according to the change in climate, according to the change in vegetation. It got passed on from one generation to another. In animals also, we have another process, that is evolution. We kept on developing, we kept on progressing, and we became the most intelligent species on this earth, right? Supreme species on this earth. But during that process, we have lost something. That is what the poet wants to highlight over here, that some values, some basic values that are still retained in the animals, we lost it. That evolution process, we lost lots of things. That is what sets it sets us apart from these animals, but that is the same thing that is still virtuous in those animals and it is missing in us. So these are the some of the points that are highlighted by the poet. Now, if you see, you have the book with you, so material with you, so you can see the exact way in which the poet has written this poem. I have some space restriction over here. Yes, so the lines may be here or there, up and down, maybe starting from the left hand side of the uh, margin, but in the text that is with you, you will be able to see the correct format in which the poet has written the poem. So, I think I could turn and live with animals, right? We'll go slowly because this is a free verse. This poem is on a free verse, right? So it is written in a very haphazard way in some style that is originated by the poet himself, right? Not used by other poems, but he has done it himself. So the first word over here comes turn. Turn means not a turning or not a turning point, it means change. Yes, more than change, it means convert. Here it means converting, right? So I think I could convert and live with animals, or I think I could change and live with animals, right? The way animals live in the forest or in their own habitat is zebra is also there, giraffe if you are talking about the African continent, bison is also there, deer is also there, lots of other creatures, they are all on the open grassland and they are grazing together, drinking from that same pond or a little water hole over there, right? They see no difference in each other. They make their own group, that is okay. They stay with their own group, that is also okay. But they do not mind each other. A giraffe is never going to fight with a zebra, and a zebra is not going to take up a fight with bison. They all have their dominance. Nobody's trying to dominate over there. It is everybody's land, and everybody graze without fighting with each other. Right? So we understand the first point, that the poet is so much fed up with human beings, living among human beings, and seeing that values and virtues and all everything disappearing. He gets so fed up with staying with human beings that he wants to change. Again, live with animals. He wants to convert himself. He doesn't want to call himself a human being anymore. He wants to get converted into that same animal kingdom and live as an animal. So here turn means a change or a conversion, right? So I think I could change or I could turn and live with animals. Now we come to the second line. They are so placid and self-contained. Now I've written over here the meaning of placid. Placid, easygoing. Animals, if you see, they are just very easygoing. First thing, they do not have any tension of earning money. Second tension is how to spend that money. Yes, they don't have to construct a house. They don't have to call 10 people to construct their house, their shop, their building. Right? They don't have lots of tension. Right? Roads चाहिए नहीं, drainage system चाहिए नहीं, social system में रहने के लिए they need to every time be aware of the surrounding. Yes, they have to be mannered culture around according to the society in which they live. Now these animals, they are very simple, easygoing, right? They don't have to worry about clothes. That is the one of the first thing. Fashion ko koi matlab nahi hai. A zebra has stripes. Each and every zebra has a stripe, and each and every stripe is different. That is what we think. But for the zebras, yes, whether another zebra from another group comes over there and mixes with them and drinks water from the same hole and has the same grass over there, and nobody minds, right? So they are very simple, easy going. Yes, tomorrow to chodo evening ka bhi koi set timetable nahi hai. Yes, wherever they feel, just lie down, or they just keep on standing and snoring, right? So they're quite simple. They do not have much complication. That is the meaning. We have a very complicated life. Yes, if you go out for walking, you need a different dress. If you go to school, you need a different dressing, right? If you are going out for a party, you need something else. If you are going for sports, you need something else, right? Even if you are at home, then पूरे दिन mother चिल्लाती रहती है, right? You got to have some manners over there. You got to have some dressing sense over there also. Everywhere, at every spot, every place, you have a different dressing. So our life is quite complicated. Yes, लंच वाला ब्रेकफास्ट में नहीं खा सकते, ब्रेकफास्ट वाला डिनर में नहीं खा सकते, राइट? सड़क के ऊपर खड़े होके फ्रूट्स नहीं खा सकते, राइट? सो वी हैव लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशन, राइट? सो in that way they are so placid, they are very very simple and easygoing and self-contained. That is the most important thing in this poetry, in this poem, that they are self-contained. Contained means totally satisfied, that means self-satisfied. भूख लगी है तो खुद को ही जाना पड़ेगा, मम्मी पानी लिया, नो दैट थिंग इज एब्सेंट ओवर हियर, राइट? बच्चे को भी भूख भूख लगी है तो खुद ही घास ढूंढना पड़ेगा, अ, पानी प्यास लगी है तो पानी खुद ही ढूंढना पड़ेगा, राइट? सेल्फ कंटेन, दैट मीन्स टोटली सेल्फ सेटिस्फाइड, not greedy like human beings. Human beings are very very greedy. So from the very first line he tries to uh, compare also, and at the same time he is contrasting for the same word, that is placid. We are non placid, that means we are quite complicated. ये मेरा बच्चा है और ये बाजू वाले का बच्चा है और उधर वाले पड़ोसी का बच्चा है, राइट? वी हैव अ डिफरेंशिएशन between these three kids, right? So मेरा बच्चा होगा तो मैं उसको पानी पहले दूंगा और बाकी दोनों को बाद में दूंगा, right? That is not the case in the animals. So quite placid, self contained. Yes, पेट भर गया बैठ गए, ये नहीं दूसरों को भी खाने दे. Yes, somebody is grazing in their ground, they can graze, right? But it doesn't happen as with us. Yes, no stranger can come in and ask for food in our house, right? So placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. That means if you want to join them, first thing you got to observe them, right? What they are doing, how they are doing, right? So I look at them for long and long time. That is for quite a long time. I keep on looking at them. I keep on observing them, and such a lot of things I find about them. Such a lot of things I find in them, which is missing in me, which is missing in us. First thing, they do not sweat and whine about. They do not sweat and whine about. Yes, अभी ये लाइन उधर होना चाहिए, their condition. Yes, first thing is, we always keep complaining about our condition. If it is me, I keep on complaining. If it is you, you keep on complaining. यस, ये क्या 8 से लेके 12 बजे तक बैठना ही पड़ता है इधर, राइट? उसके बाद होमवर्क करो, उसके बाद क्या हमारी कोई लाइफ नहीं है, जिंदगी नहीं है, राइट? सो वी कीप ऑन कंप्लेनिंग विच एवर कंडीशन एंड सिचुएशन वी आर नेवर सेटिस्फाइड विद दैट. वी ऑलवेज कीप ऑन कंप्लेनिंग. Whereas animals, they do not complain. They get grass, they eat. They don't get grass, they don't complain. They don't have anywhere to go to complain. They just move around and find food. If they don't find food over here, they will walk 20 kilometers far away and find food somewhere else. They will not complain. हमको सारा खाना बिस्तर पे चाहिए, नहीं हुए तो चिल्ला चिल्ली, right? So they do not sweat about their condition. Yes, here sweating means getting tensed. Yes, we have such a lot of things to do that if one of the thing is not working properly, we keep sweating, because then we will be in a very bad situation. Yes, tomorrow is WRT and we forgot it, and then when we open the WRT, we came to know that we don't know lots of things. So sweat will appear on the forehead because you forgot and now you don't know, and you're going to score less. उनको कभी WRT आती नहीं, कोई एग्जाम होती नहीं, and that's a good thing for them. But then there can be other situations also, right? So they always cope up, they always keep on compromising, and wherever needed they stand and fight, but they never sweat. That means they never get worried about the condition, because they know they have to blend in the situation. No situation will be bad for them. At the end something good is going to happen, right? We have that hope. We have that hope that हाँ जैसे स्टोरी में होता है, everything ends well, everybody is happy. So we know, we have hope that everything is going to be okay. Right now the situation is bad, right? Last 4 hours I did not have a glass of water because water is not available, but we keep on hoping that yes, I'll get water, right? So we have that hope, whereas there is no hope because they don't expect hope. That is the main thing. So they do not sweat under any condition, they do not get worried. Yes, they just have to compromise with the situation, they just have to either fight with the situation, and only question is survival. So they don't sweat and they don't whine. Whine means they don't keep on complaining like us. Yes, सूखा घास मिला है, हरा नहीं मिला है. सूखा मिला तो सूखा खा लो, हरा मिला तो हरा खा लो, right? So they're out of that tension work because they don't focus too much on too little things, right? Food is required, whichever type of food is available they eat, right? So they do not sweat and whine about their condition. We do. That is what the poet wants to tell us. He has not written these things, but in this line he tells us that we keep on sweating, we keep on worrying, we keep on working hard so that we earn better. Now how are they going to work hard to have more grass? Grass is available, whole of the grassland is there, you go anywhere and have grass. Why do we have to keep grass for tomorrow when the whole of the ground is full with grass, right? But we earn so that we can stack whole food for whole of the year. Yes, and then we don't have to worry about the food even if there is a 6 months lockdown. We all of us know about the lockdown, right? So if there is a 6 months lockdown, we can't step out of the house, then also we have such a lot of stock that is going to survive us for the next 6 months. They don't have to worry about that, right? So they don't sweat, they don't mind about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. That means we do, they don't. That is the comparison also, that is the contrast also. Opposite things. Yes, the WRT example that I gave you. Yes, tomorrow there is a WRT of a chapter that I don't know anything about. I don't get a head or foot about it. I don't understand anything from it. And tomorrow I have to write for 30 marks. So today, in spite of learning for the whole day, still I didn't gather much. And I am worried I won't get good marks tomorrow. That thing, that worry is not going to allow me to sleep properly, and whole of the night I will be tossing in the bed round and round, and that worry, that tension is not going to allow me to sleep. So that is the point. They like us, it's dark. Yes, as soon as it is evening time, they know it is time to find a shelter and lie down, because night में वैसे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता, right? जितना खाना था दिन भर में खा लिया, अभी रेस्ट चाहिए, दूसरे दिन फिर फूड एंड वाटर सर्च करना है, राइट? सो at night they forget all their worries, go to sleep, whereas we are so much in tension always. या तो दिन में इतने सो लिया कि रात को नींद नहीं आती, या तो दिन में इतना काम कर लिया, दूसरे दिन का टेंशन, so we are not able to sleep. So or something has happened, something bad has happened, that we are not able to get sleep. We are sick, we are not able to get sleep. So there is something, always something going on which does not allow us to sleep properly in the night. So even if it is dark, according to customs, traditions, in the house, family, lights should be off at night, right? So the light in your room is switched off, but you are lying in your bed, your eyes are wide open, you are wide awake, and You are not able to sleep. But that is not the condition with the animals. So they do not lie awake in the dark because we have lots of tension. They don't have any tension, right? We have to think about tomorrow. They don't have to think about tomorrow. They are quite satisfied with whatever they had today. They don't have to think even for a single moment about tomorrow. Tomorrow, what's going to happen? They don't know. It's nature. It can work in any way. Today, it's not raining. Tomorrow, it might be raining. Day after tomorrow, there might be a flood. On the fourth day, there might be eruption of lava. They don't know these things, so they don't worry about those things. We know these things. इतना बड़ा अच्छा घर बनाया, earthquake आएगा तो क्या होगा? अभी एक एक wild thought आया and whole of the night we are not able to sleep, right? So what happens is they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Yes, weeping sometimes, most of the times, we do not cry in the open in front of everybody. Yes, थोड़ा hurt hota hai image, right? So sometimes we have done something wrong, only we know about it. We don't want the people of the family, we do not want the society to know about it. Yes, we have done quite a lot of wrong things, right? And that means we have sinned. We have not done something right. That means we have done something wrong. That makes us cry in the night when we are all alone. There is nobody to look the tears that are rolling down the cheeks. Everybody has seen your happy face, satisfied face, right? Contained face. They never even thought that you can cry. So when are you going to cry? You're going to cry when it's dark, when it's night, nobody is looking at you. Yes, you weep for the sins that you have done. They have done no sins. Animals, they have done no sins. Yes, if they had to kill someone to protect themselves, they have not sinned. If they had to kill someone for their food, they have not sinned. Yes, a tiger or lion, before killing an animal, उसका हाथ नहीं जोड़ते भाई मैं तेरे को मारने वाला हूँ, right? And after eating it, it doesn't say anything to that carcass which is lying over there, right? The skeletal which is lying over there, it doesn't say anything to it, right? Useless, मर गया है. They don't think it as as a sin. Yes, they are doing it just for their survival, right? But we do lots of things not for our survival, we do it for our image. We do to set a good reputation in the society. Meanwhile, in some process, we have done some wrongs to ourselves, to our family, to somebody whom we love, to the society. We have done wrong somewhere and we regret that, and that is why we weep. We are sorry about that. That thing comes back when it is dark. Yes, those memories come back as a flash, and we remember that, and we know we have sinned and it's wrong. We should not have hurt that person in that way, right? And we feel sorry about that and we weep. Animals don't do that. They do not make me sick discussing about the duty to God. Right? God we have created. Each and every religion they have their own gods. But in the turn, if you see, we give existence to God. It was our thought that God, because we saw the larger picture, right? We saw not only the land that we live in, we saw other lands also, we saw lots of water, right? We reached at a height and we saw what is the surrounding that was impossible for us to make, so somebody must have made it. We looked up at the sun, we looked up at the planets, we explored, we found thousands and thousands of different species all over the world, right? We had knowledge, we have knowledge about outside our world, that is outside our earth, the solar system. Then we went beyond, we kept on acquiring knowledge, and that gave us the thought of existence of God. That part is completely missing in the animals. They think about themselves only. They think about their young ones only till they can take care of that. After that, they are also independent. Yes, the mother and father, they'll will do, parents will do as much as possible, especially the mother. Wherever most of the species task is on the mother, yes, some of the species task is on the father also, right? So in that way, they are just surviving, right? They do not have time, they do not have that intelligence to look at the world, surrounding world, the surrounding area, right? So they do not make me sick. Now, we have some rights as a human being. In the society we have some rights and we have some duties also. One of the duties towards God, because he created us and we are thankful to him. We got to show that thankfulness. So we have a duty towards God also. What is duty towards God? Be a good human being, try to do something good for yourself, for everybody else, right? Help the society, help the weak people. So those things we take it as our duty. Now, one horse, yes, is lame, is not able to walk on his four, one of the leg is hurt or something, yes, then have you seen other horse trying to help him? No. If that horse is lame, whatever fate it has to follow. If it can't run, carnivorous animals will make it the dinner or the lunch, right? Because he's not able to save himself, because he's not able to run. It doesn't become the duty of the other horse to save him. If he is of the herd, if whole of the herd decides to protect that, then it's okay. Especially for young ones, we have seen that in the herd, right? They try to protect the young ones, right? So that's possible. Up till that level, intelligence is okay, right? But they do not go and protect every weak one. Yes, कोई zebra लड़खड़ा आ रहा है तो हाथी जाके हेल्प नहीं करेगा, right? So they do not have that. Everybody has their own fate. Everybody has to survive. Yes, they have to find their own way to survive. Right? Everybody is concerned about themselves, not of somebody else. Being human beings, हमारा opposite है. Sometimes that is a very good thing to do. Yes, but we exaggerate and we keep on telling everyone, we keep on boring everyone regarding our duty towards God, duty towards other fellow human beings. So they do not make me sick. Now, this poet does not like somebody coming to him and telling everything about God. He also is a human being. He has also learned right from his childhood everything about God. He doesn't need somebody to come and tell him about God, about his duty to God. He is a human being, well educated, well mannered, and born and brought up in a very good family. The family has taught him lots of virtues, lots of values. He knows his duty towards God. Nobody has to come and keep him bored and tell him, talk with him so much about God that he feels sick. ये आदमी चला जाए तो ठीक है, right? I know my duty, I know my work, I'll do it. You don't have to come and tell me, right? So this is the comparison and the contrast between animals and human beings. That they do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with. Remember that line, I stand out there and keep looking for long, long hours. So this is what he's looking in these animals. Not one is dissatisfied, everyone is satisfied. हमारी हमारा क्या पोजीशन होता है, हमारी थाली हमेशा खाली लगती है, दूसरे की भरी हुई लगती है. उसने 4 स्वीट लिया, मुझे एक ही दिया. We always keep looking at other people, how happy they are, how rich they are, how well to do they are, yes, how many facilities they have. A rich man also looks at another rich man, richer than him, and feels jealous. Whereas all the animals, they are grazing on that same land. Somebody eats dry grass, somebody is eating fresh grass according to appetite, according to liking. Yes, but they don't go and see what some another creature is having, because everybody is satisfied. So not one animal is dissatisfied, not one animal tries to gather all everything available for himself, does not allow anyone. Have you seen any cow uh, all alone grazing in the field, not allowing any other cows to come in the field? No. If that field she is grazing, other cows are allowed. Yes, she wouldn't even mind it. She wouldn't even look at it. They wouldn't fight for food among themselves, bearing few species. They wouldn't fight for food, right? And if they are fighting for food, that is for survival purpose only, because that is the only food that is available to a lot many in the species. So if they don't fight, they wouldn't get a bite, right? So not one is dissatisfied. All of them, they are completely satisfied. Not one is demented with. Demented means irrational. हमारा जो behavior है, that is completely irrational. If I am wearing a t-shirt and another boy is also wearing a t-shirt, I will look at him and feel jealous that his t-shirt is more good than my t-shirt. His jeans is more better than my jeans. My shoes are dirty, his shoes are so neat and clean, right? So we feel jealous. So demented, irrational, उस वजह से हमारा कभी कभी बिहेवियर भी irrational हो जाता है, right? Mother doesn't give us food on time, we shout at her. Father doesn't do exactly what we tell him to do, yes, our behavior changes. His behavior also changes when you don't do according to what he likes. So we have some irrational behavior that comes out of dissatisfaction. So not one is demented with. That means all of them, all of the birds, animals, aquatic animals, they have a rational thinking and their behavior is quite rational. Yes, if whole of the grassland is filled with grass and lots of food, it belongs to me and me only. I am the king. All of you run away from here. Whole of the season I'll be grazing over here. This pond belongs to me. Yes, now you understand. Yes, ये field मेरा है, ये pond मेरा है, ये कुआं मेरा है. Right? So that is a human behavior. Whereas there is no human behavior. That type of behavior is totally absent over here. So none of the thinking is irrational. None of the behavior is irrational or without any logic, right? They don't apply logic. Yes, if it is raining, stand under a tree, find a rock. When the rain is over, graze. Or if you feel grazing in the rain, you do that, right? So there is no logic applicable over there, and everybody is satisfied. Very important line, the mania of owing things. Mania means craziness. We have a craziness of owning things, right? We want to own more and more. We want to have more and more money. And with that money, we like to buy lots of things which belong to us. Ye bangla mera, ye panch gadi meri. Yes, ye khet mera. Right. So we keep on buying and acquiring assets. And वहाँ पे नेम प्लेट लग जाता है, this field belongs to this one, these many bungalows, they belong to this one, right? These many bank accounts, these many shops, these many things belong to me. So we like to write our names on those things. We own things and we got to show the society we own so much, right? So a Rajasthani camel goes in search of food and water, crosses the border and goes into Afghanistan or goes into Pakistan. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that this desert in Pakistan belongs to some other camels, because those camels also don't own it. Kashmiri goats, they venture into Pakistan and then they come back, right? It is nobody's land. It is everybody's land, right? They don't own anything. They don't own a tree, they don't own the land, they don't own the grass, they don't own the water. It belongs to everyone. So koi fight hi nahi hai for owning things, right? So we have a mania, that is a craziness for owning things. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind. Quite a good line. We kneel in front of someone, of some superior. Yes, राजा के सामने प्रजा नील होती थी, सरकार के सामने हम भी घुटने टेक देते हैं. Right, we have to do what somebody says. We kneel, we have to show respect, otherwise respect will be taken from us. Yes, they will make us give respect. So not one kneels before another. एक हाथी दूसरे हाथी के सामने घुटने नहीं टेकता. Yes, हाँ, in a group everybody is afraid of the strength, that is another thing, right? But the group is quite small, right? If he tries to do that same thing in another group, yes, he will be quite beaten up, right? So we are not talking about that. Not one kneels either with respect or with fear. One animal doesn't kneel to the other. Rabbit doesn't know, हमने सिर्फ कहानी सुनी है, rabbit doesn't know that lion is the king of the jungle. Lion को king हमने बनाया. Lion never says I'm the king of the jungle, because his roar is so deafening, it is so threatening, that just by the look of lion, animals flee away. But then they don't come and kneel over there. If they come and kneel, the lion is going to eat him, right? So nobody kneels just because of being afraid or showing respect, that we do, we human beings do, right? Not to his kind. One doesn't kneel to another, and not even to his kind or another kind. Yes, a rhinoceros doesn't kneel to zebra, and a zebra doesn't kneel to giraffe. A giraffe doesn't kneel to cow, right? So not only in his kind, to other one also. So not only in his species or subspecies, he doesn't kneel or doesn't be afraid of other species also. That now, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. The statues we have, the idols that we have, right, of a brave king, of a brave person. We have photos, statues of Gandhiji. He was a great person. We respect him, right? He is the father of the nation. We consider him as the maker of India. People pray to him because we are all human beings. We are superior than all the species in the world. We have our own set customs, traditions, right? We follow according to that. But that thing is completely absent in the animals. A horse doesn't pay respect to another horse who lived 100,000 years ago. He doesn't even know that. He doesn't even want to know that, right? So that is the difference between the human beings and the animals. Not one is respectable or happy over the whole earth. Yes, ये महान zebra था, ये महान giraffe था. Nobody is concerned even in that species or subspecies or want to tell that to other species. So nobody is respectable. You take birth on this earth, you grow up, you grow strong. One day you die, everybody just forgets that you are even there, right? So nobody respects each other, right? Nobody pays respect to each other. So not one is respectable the way that we have or we do, or unhappy over the whole of the earth. Not one species, not one animal of that species is unhappy. वो अपनी दुनिया जीता है मस्ती से, आराम से, right? He cares a damn about the earth. Cares a damn about the rest of the species, even about his own species. Many of these animals, they just become independent. They live all alone. They are least bothered about the world, or even about other animals, or even about their own kind. Right? So, whenever they meet, they are either friendly or they are enemy, right? So in that way they greet each other. Nobody respects anyone, right? And nobody feels unhappy living on this world. On the other side, we do. We have to show respect to our brothers, we have to show respect to our elder sibling, we have to take respect from the younger ones. Yes, बाजू वाले को भी रिस्पेक्ट देना था, सामने वाले को भी देना पड़ता है, राइट। स्कूल में जाओ तो वहाँ पे भी रिस्पेक्ट देना पड़ता है, सोसाइटी में जाओ तो वहाँ पे भी गैदरिंग होता है तो वहाँ पे भी कई सारों को पैर छूना पड़ता है. वी हैव टू गिव एंड टेक रिस्पेक्ट. Animals, that thing is absent, right? Something happens which we don't like, we feel unhappy, right? Something happens in the family, so same thing happens over there also in the animals, but they do not whine, they do not complain, they do not have that regret, sorriness. Yes, it's a daily thing. They might be feeling sad for a moment, right? But then they carry on with their life without any regret, without any sorriness. It doesn't happen with us. Even 10 years after someone's death, we still keep on crying, right? That's a good thing. Yeah, it empties the heart, right? But at the same time, we do it, that they don't. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. Animals, if other animal is friendly, they will be together. If the other animal is a threat, one will run away. So that is how they behave. If I show them a little bit of love, they will love me. Yes, that is the here respect doesn't mean, and here relation means only one thing, that is love. If I don't show love, they will have no relation with me. Even a stray dog, if at lunchtime you call that dog on the same time every day, after 5 6 days it will come and stand over there before you even come out of the house. They know I'll get food. You have shown a little bit of help, a little bit of love, it will respond to that love. But every time you come out of the house with a stick and try to beat that dog, whenever that dog sees you, he's going to run away even before you pick up a stick. That is the relation that they keep, right? So they show the relation to me, either love, hatred, whatever, to me, and I accept that. Usually that is not hatred. They never fall into that bond of revenge. There is only one thing, either it is love or it is fright. Yes, a rabbit, if it sees a bigger animal, it's going to be afraid and run away. But at the same time, if that bigger animal sees another small animal, it doesn't get afraid of it because it knows its strength, it knows the other's strength also, right? So in that way, some are meek, some are quite frightened all the time, like deer, right? But you respond to them, they will respond to you. So they show the relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. This word token is very, very important. I try to make you understand. Token, qualities of innocence. You'll find all these qualities. You'll find all these qualities in babies till they are 4 5 years of age. Then they have an understanding. Yes, 5 चॉकलेट लाया था, एक एक करके मुझे 2 खाया, भैया 3 खा गए, मुझे एक ही दिया 4 खा गए. He will learn that thing after 5 years of age till he is satisfied. You give him one, he won't ask where the other 4 are. गिनती नहीं आती बेचारे को, right? So token, token to be taken as values over here. Innocence is a value. So they are innocent, I am not. I'm not innocent. I may show innocence, but for my greed only. Simplicity, they show, that is a value. Same thing. Contentment, that is satisfaction. These are the tokens they give me. What is the relation? They show innocence. If I call them, they will come. They will come for love, they will come for food, they will come for water. Quite innocent. They don't expect that by calling me, he's going to catch me and kill me and have me as food. It is too innocent to fall into your call and end up dead. But at that time, he's innocent. You call him, if he's not afraid of you, feels friendly, finds something, no threat, it's going to come to you. Right? So that innocence works. So they bring me tokens of myself. I, as a human being, I have lost innocence. I have become wicked. I have become cruel. Next thing is simplicity. They still have simplicity. I have the opposite. I have lots of complexes. The life is so complex for me. The complexity, it has risen to very high levels. I can't trust my own brother. Yes, I always keep a watch on my friends. I have a threat from there. Which friend is friendly to me? Which friend is working against me? I don't know that. Right? So these are the values and tokens that they give me. I take those tokens from them. I see those things and I remember that I have lost these things. Qualities of innocence, simplicity, contentment, it is no more with me. So they bring me those tokens to myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. They have it. Animals, they have it by virtue. They have it by virtue. They have innocence, they have simplicity, and they have satisfaction. These are the inborn qualities in them. Yes, plainly in their possession. That means all of them have it. All of them, all the birds, animals, whether ferocious, whether herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, all of them, they have that virtue built in them from birth. And these are the tokens, these are the values which human beings have lost. I wonder where they get those tokens. Yes, today as a human being, mother teaches a child, don't trust on strangers. उनसे chocolate lollipop नहीं लेना है. Another human being, yes, one human being teaches her young one not to trust on another human being. That thing is not there completely in the animals. They trust their own kind because they live together. They don't snatch away each other's food. Yes, they are not greedy. They are completely satisfied. So these virtues are still with them. These values are still with them, right? And it is an inborn thing. So I wonder where they get these tokens. I wonder, all these years, all these millions of years, lions have been there, zebras have been there, rats and cats and dogs have been there. They have not lost these virtues. With this expansion of time, they have not lost it. They have it in him and they pass it on to their generation, next generation. Yes, डीएनए में कभी पास होके नहीं जाता. "ऐ, फलाने इतने एनिमल से डरो, इतने एनिमल से प्यार करो." No, no, such type of DNA is not passed on. Such type of information is not passed, right? So we do that. ये हमारे दोस्त है, ये हमारे दुश्मन है, इन ट्रस्ट करना, इन पे ट्रस्ट नहीं करना, राइट? Sit with them, don't sit with them. So I don't know where they get these tokens from. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? With the expanse of time, with these million years, they had that virtues, values going on. I also came back from them, and today, now I am. In between that time, did I lose those things trying to become a human being? Trying to become the supreme species on earth, I lost lots of values, lots of values. In between that time that I evolved and lost lots of things. I gained lots of things, but I lost the basic values that are still retained in the animals. Right? It's taken from Song of Myself in Leaves of Grass. Let us take a quick recap. As a summary in this poem, the poet Whitman compares man to animals. He finds that man lacks many virtues that animals have. It's all that I've explained, but summary can be asked as a separate question. The poet says that he feels more at home with the animals than human beings. He likes, so let him join them. Since they are selfish, false, and always dissatisfied, talking about human beings. Well, animals are not selfish, they are true, more satisfied, they show love. The poet Walt Whitman tells frankly that feels comfortable and at home with animals rather than his fellow human beings. He has lost so much faith in the race of man that he wants to convert to animals and stay with them. Convert here means convert from human being to animal. He will stay a human being, but then he doesn't want to be called a human being. He wants to be called an animal. Change his position with the animals. Human beings have become more mad, running after material possessions. They are a bundle of complications, contradictions, confusions. We are always confused. Their conscience is not clear. That means they have some, uh, and so they suffer from nightmares, weep. Yes, Kabhi, Kavya, a dog doesn't wake up in the middle of the night. I had a bad dream, right? Sleep means sleep. Animals, on the other hand, are calm, satisfied, and contented. Again, means that they don't run after material things other than their food. They don't need to worship God or never suffer from any sense of guilt or sin. Ancestors or human beings shared those tokens of love and understanding in the remote past. Today, we don't do it. Unfortunately, humans have lost those values and tokens of love and understanding completely forever. Now, tokens, we have explained already, figures of speech. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. Whole of the thing has to be taken together. Then we have hyperbole. This is an overstatement. You can't turn. You are a human being. You cannot become an animal, right? So that is an overstatement. Next line. I stand and look at them long and long. Repetition is there. Long and long. That word is repeated. Alliteration. I stand and look at them long and low, and end is also repeated. Alliteration is also there, right? So repetition and alliteration is over here. They do not sweat and whine. Take this line. Not is there, that means litotes is there. Same thing happens in the next line. Do not. So not is there, litotes is there. Wherever negation is there, it's litotes. They do not. So again, litotes is there, right? Other than that, we have alliteration. Alliteration is quite simple. Repetition is quite simple. If we have a consonant sound that is repeated, then that is alliteration. Yes, wherever whole of the word is repeated, then that is repetition. So alliteration and repetition, they are very easy to pick out from the sentence. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania. Now, we have learned it's tautology. Not is litotes. Demented and mania, both of them have similar meanings, right? And both of the words are used. That means repetition of words having similar words will be different, but they will have similar meanings. Then that is tautology. Repetition of words for poetic effect. Not one. Not is there, so litotes is going to be there. Hyperbole. Not one kneels before another, nor is that kind that lives thousands of years ago. Right? That is an overstatement. It's not true, right? But so that is an overstatement. Not then that is litotes. This poem is quite easy as far as figures of speech is concerned. Most of the time you will find litotes somewhere here and there are different figures of speech. Not hath, again litos. Respectable or unhappy, they are contrasting things. But or is there one word is in between them that makes it antithesis? Yes, if both the words were together without any word in between, then that will be oxymoron. If there is one word also in between them which separates them, then that is antithesis. So opposite ideas are there. One is respected, one is unhappy. Yes, they are opposite words, but used in the same line. So that is antithesis. And next line, alliteration is there. The will be there. They, the, right? So them, the word that is consonant sound is repeated. So this alliteration. They bring me tokens of myself. Me and myself is the same. So that is again repetition of words that have similar meaning. So you will have tautology. Next is metonymy. They bring me tokens. Token is one word that will have the meaning. Yes, innocence, simplicity, all of that turned into one word, token. So token stands for all those values that is an attribute is given to those values, that is token. So that is metonymy. An attribute is given, yes, which means something else. Alliteration is there, lots of the is t or the will be there, so there is alliteration over here. I wonder where they get tokens. Again, token word is used, so metonymy will be there. Alliteration, the has, so alliteration. Did I pass the way that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? Interrogation, question mark is there, so automatically interrogation. Exclamation mark is there, so automatically figure of speech used over there will be exclamation. And alliteration, the had, that, them, then times. Yes. So you see, there will be repetition of consonant words. So with this, we complete this poem. Thank you, students.